let us talk about the classifications of Indian knowledge system or IKS. So ancient texts, we classify those ancient texts in three segments. One is the basic part, next is the complementary, and another one is supplementary. The complementary text consists of 4 Upangas, and the supplementary text, those consist of 6 Vedangas. So then basic part are the Vedas. Now how many Vedas are there? There are 4 Vedas. One is the Rig Veda, next is Sama Veda, another one is Jajur Veda, and the fourth one is Atharva Veda. Complementary text or 4 Upangas. So those 4 Upangas are Ayurveda, Dhanur Veda, Gandharva Veda, and Artha Veda. In that Artha Veda comes one segment known as Silpa Samhita, that is called engineering, and Ayurveda is known as the medicine, and that is the medical part of the Vedas. Okay, and the supplementary texts are known as Vedangas. We have 6 different Vedangas. Next is that each Veda, each and every Veda, so there are 4 parts in each Veda. One is Samhita, next is Brahmanas, Aranyaka, and the last one is Upanishads. So Upanishads are the advanced part of the Vedas, that's why we call them as Vedantas. And Upanishads are a very rich text and a very authentic source to study about consciousness. And the Silpa Samhita, because again I am saying that our approach is more towards the engineering and medicine, so the Silpa Samhita is the part of the engineering. And there are 3 segments again. One is the Dhatu Khand or art science, another one is Vastu Khand or architecture, the last one is Sadhan Khand or transportation. So these are the 3 segments of Silpa Samhita or engineering. So what are the evidences? What are the evidences in ancient India about various branches of engineering? So there are 2 aspects. One is the Shilpa Shastra and another one is Ayurvedic Chikitsa. So Shilpa Shastra is the various branches of engineering. For example, Krishi, which can closely be related to biological engineering or agricultural engineering nowadays. Jala, that is water resource engineering. Next is Khani or mining engineering. Another one is Nauka. Nauka is water transport. Next is Rath. Rath is ground transport. Viman. Viman is aerospace. Vastu. Vastu is building architecture. Prakar. Prakar is the forts. Nagar Rachana is the town planning. And Yantra. Yantras are the machines. Ayurvedic Chikitsa, various branches of medicine are Kaya. Kaya Chikitsa, or we call it as internal medicine. Bala Chikitsa, which is similar to patriotic medicine. Next is the Graha Chikitsa, which is close to psychiatry these days. Urdhavanga, that is ENT and head part. Shalla Chikitsa consists of all surgeries. Damstra, that is toxicology. Jara Chikitsa, which is related to rejuvenation. And Varsa. Varsa is aphrodisiac therapy. So these are the various aspects of Ayurveda as well as Silpa Samhita. So what is the connection between the nature and the human mind? This interconnection was established by ancient Indian science. Through spiritual experiences and practices, ancient sages concluded that the same universal laws that govern the nature and the human mind, establishing a harmonious relationship between the nature and the human mind. There is a harmonious relationship. One is complementary to another. So that's the relationship, and that was established by ancient Indian sages, and they reached to this conclusion not overnight. They did many years of sadhanas, and through their spiritual experiences and practices, they reached out to this goal. They referred this unified consciousness as Brahman in the Upanishads. Modern science is very good when it comes to our physical comfort, making our life easier. But at the same time, modern day scientific discoveries, they created a lot of significant trouble to this universe. That could be addressed by knowing IKS, not only by knowing, but also by applying IKS for modern society. For example, number 1, which you all are aware about, is a negative effect on climate. what are the two most significant aspects of the negative effects on climate? One is a sea level rise and another one is loss of biodiversity, right? Next is the negative effects on human health because of modern science. One is currently we are having a lot of fatal diseases in terms of our heart disease, lung disease, etc. Not only that, mental illness, mental health crisis is another big challenge of modern society. So those are the negative effects on health. And what are the negative effects on the overall society? So overall negative effect on the society is degradation of human values. That is a huge problem if we consider as the whole society. If I look at the few statistics, and though all these statistics are taken from good references and either from top journals or from top reports, etc. Number one, if left unchecked, climate change is projected to push 100 million people worldwide into extreme poverty. 100 million people worldwide into extreme poverty by 2030. So this number is not a matter of joke. Okay. Next is that malaria is anticipated to see a global increase of up to 5%, affecting over 150 million individuals. A rise of 1 degree Celsius in global temperature leads to a 6% reduction in global wheat production and a 10% reduction in rice yields. Again, as like alarming statistic. These factors will result in malnutrition affecting 10 million children by 2050. 10 million children by 2050. Air pollution causes 7 million premature deaths. 7 million premature deaths each year. The loss of biodiversity may lead to the highest mass extinction event in the past 65 million years. It is not 1-2 years, 65 million years. In the past 65 million years, the highest mass extinction event. In December 2020, 42% of US adults reported symptoms of anxiety and depression, reflecting a 31% increase compared to the data of 2019. I think it is one of the after effects of COVID. Like if you compare 2019 and 2020, there is a 30% increase in the symptoms of anxiety and depression. Now we discussed about the problems. What are the solutions? Can we get the solutions from our ancient root? The answer is yes. So it had been prescribed in our ancient scriptures about the possible solution. First possibility, number one way is the harmony with nature and the cosmos. We need to create a harmony between nature and the cosmos. That is number one. Number two is the path of self-inquiry. We have to do self-inquiry to know who we actually are. In that way, we will be able to establish the balance between the nature and our mind. Human mind and the universal. So basically an individual soul and the universal soul. We need to establish that balance. That is the self-inquiry. Next is the path of dharma. Dharma is the path of morality, the path of righteousness. We need to approach any problems like this in the path of morality, the path of righteousness. That is called as the path of dharma.